The Underground Railroad was a secret network of routes, safe houses, and individuals who helped enslaved African Americans escape to free states and Canada during the 19th century. Though not an actual railroad, it was metaphorically named to represent the covert nature of its operations. This network was a crucial part of American history, highlighting the resilience of the human spirit and the fight against oppression. The term became widely used in the 1830s and was at its peak between the 1840s and 1861 before the Civil War. Many people, including free African Americans, abolitionists, and sympathetic whites, risked their lives to assist fugitives. Some of the most famous figures associated with the Underground Railroad include Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and William Still. How the Underground Railroad worked. The Underground Railroad was neither centralized nor officially organized. It relied on a network of individuals who operated under secrecy. Here's how it functioned. 1. Escape routes and safe houses. The network had specific escape routes from the southern slave states to the free North or Canada. Those escaping slavery, called freedom seekers or passengers, moved at night and followed natural landmarks like rivers and the North Star to guide them. Safe houses, known as stations, were places where runaways could rest and hide. These were often homes of abolitionists, churches, or barns. Those who guided fugitives along the routes were called conductors. 2. Dot codes and secrecy. For example, stations were safe houses. Conductors were guides who led enslaved people. Baggage or packages referred to the escaping slaves. Stockholders were those who provided financial support. Messages were sometimes hidden in quilt patterns or songs, like "Follow the Drinking Gourd," which contained clues about the escape routes. 3. Key routes and destinations. Major routes ran from the Deep South through states like Kentucky, Virginia, and Maryland, leading to northern states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. Many escapees continued to Canada because the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 made it legal for slave catchers to recapture runaways even in free states. Canada, particularly areas like Ontario, became a primary destination since slavery was abolished there in 1834. 2. The people involved. Conductors, guides who led fugitives between safe houses. Harriet Tubman, a former enslaved woman, was one of the most famous conductors. Station masters. People who hid fugitives in their homes, barns, or churches. Abolitionists and free blacks. Many free African Americans, Quakers, and other anti-slavery activists provided food, shelter, and clothing. Former slaves, many who escaped, returned to help others find freedom. Secret codes and signals. Since the work was illegal, people used secret codes to communicate. Songs. Spirituals like "Follow the Drinking Gourd" contained hidden directions. Lanterns and quilts. Some homes displayed lit lanterns or quilts with patterns to signal safe houses. Railroad terms. Escape routes were called tracks. Hiding places were stations. And fugitives were passengers. Challenges and risks. Slave catchers and bounty hunters patrolled roads, offering rewards for captured fugitives. The Fugitive Slave Act, 1850, made it legal to capture escaped slaves in free states, forcing many to flee to Canada. Many fugitives traveled at night, on foot, or in hidden compartments of wagons and boats. The impact helped over 100,000 enslaved people escape to freedom, strengthened the abolitionist movement, increasing tensions between North and South, inspired future resistance movements, showing the power of organized activism. Famous figures of the Underground Railroad. 1. Harriet Tubman, Moses of her people. Born into slavery in Maryland, Harriet Tubman escaped in 1849 and became one of the most famous conductors. She made over 13 trips to the South and helped at least 70 enslaved people escape. Tubman never lost a single passenger and used tactics like carrying a gun to discourage fearful escapees from turning back and disguising herself. 2. William Still, the father of the Underground Railroad, a free black man in Philadelphia. He documented the stories of escapees and helped reunite families. His book, The Underground Railroad Records, remains one of the most important historical records. 3. Douglass. A former slave who escaped to freedom, Douglass became a leading abolitionist and wrote an autobiography detailing his escape. His house in Rochester, New York became a major stop on the Underground Railroad. Stories of escape. Many enslaved people risked everything to gain freedom. Here are some inspiring stories. There are many incredible stories of escape from slavery through the Underground Railroad. Here are a few of the most famous and daring escapes. 1. Harriet Tubman. The Moses of her people escape. Harriet Tubman escaped from slavery in 1849, traveling nearly 100 miles from Maryland to Pennsylvania alone. Impact: instead of staying safe, she returned at least 13 times to rescue around 70 enslaved people, including her family. Tactics: she used disguises, secret codes, and clever tricks to avoid capture. She once carried live chickens to pretend she was a simple farm worker and pulled her hat low to avoid being recognized. 2. Henry "Box" Brown mailed himself to freedom, escaped. In 1849, Henry Brown escaped by hiding in a wooden box and having himself shipped from Virginia to Philadelphia. The journey: the box was 3 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 2.5 feet deep. He was inside for 27 hours, barely able to breathe. The box was labeled "this side up," but it was sometimes turned upside down. Aftermath: he became a famous speaker against slavery, known as Box Brown _________________________________________________________________________________________________________________________3. Ellen and William Craft. The disguised couple escaped in 1848. Ellen, a light-skinned enslaved woman, disguised herself as a white male slave owner, and her husband, William, pretended to be her servant. The journey: they traveled by train and steamboat, buying first-class tickets. Ellen wrapped her arm in a sling to avoid signing documents, since she couldn't read or write. They successfully reached Philadelphia and later fled to England to escape bounty hunters. 4. The escape of the Pearl. Largest group escape attempt. Escape. In 1848, 77 enslaved people in Washington, D.C. tried to escape on a schooner called the Pearl. The ship was to sail down the Potomac River and out to freedom. What happened? Slave catchers captured them before they reached the ocean. Many were sold deeper into the South, but their attempt inspired more abolitionist efforts. 5. Robert Smalls. The ship hijacker escape. In 1862, Robert Smalls, an enslaved sailor, stole a Confederate ship, the Planter, in Charleston, South Carolina. Smalls put on the captain's uniform and used secret signals to sail past Confederate guards. He picked up his family and other enslaved people along the way. He delivered the ship to Union forces, gaining freedom and becoming a hero. Aftermath: Smalls later became a U.S. congressman after the Civil War. Underscore 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 underscore. These stories show the bravery, intelligence, and determination of those who risked everything for freedom. Do any of these stand out to you, or would you like more details on a specific one? Impact and legacy of the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad had a profound impact on the fight against slavery and left a lasting legacy in American history. Here's how. 1. Immediate impact helped thousands escape to freedom. Over 100,000 enslaved people escaped using the Underground Railroad. Many found freedom in the North, Canada, Mexico, and other safe regions. Canada, especially places like Ontario, became a key destination since British law banned slavery. Increased tensions between North and South. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 was passed to stop escapes, making it legal for bounty hunters to capture escaped slaves even in free states. This angered many Northerners and strengthened the abolitionist movement. The Underground Railroad played a role in increasing divisions that led to the Civil War, 186-11865. 2. Long-term legacy strengthened the abolitionist movement, inspired more people to fight against slavery, including white and black abolitionists. Famous figures like Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, and William Lloyd Garrison emerged as leaders. The Underground Railroad became a symbol of resistance and a powerful argument for the end of slavery, paved the way for the Civil Rights Movement. The courage and organization of the Underground Railroad influenced future activists, including those in the Civil Rights Movement of the 1950-60s. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. carried on the fight for racial justice and equality. Cultural and educational impact. The stories of escapes and heroes like Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass continue to be taught in schools. Many sites along the Underground Railroad are now museums and national landmarks. Literature, films, and music have kept these stories alive, inspiring new generations. 3. Continuing relevance. The Underground Railroad remains a powerful symbol of freedom and resistance. It reminds us of the importance of fighting against injustice, whether racial discrimination, human trafficking, or inequality. The spirit of the Underground Railroad lives on in movements for human rights around the world. Conclusion. The Underground Railroad was more than just a route to freedom. It was a movement of courage, solidarity, and defiance against an unjust system. It showcased the determination of enslaved people to fight for their freedom and the moral conviction of those who assisted them. Its legacy continues to inspire movements for justice and equality today. Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content.